Hey guys, welcome back to the Korean Keto Guy channel, and in this episode I've got something special for you all. I've got my 5 personal favorite keto tips for 2019. And before we just jump right into it, as you may kind of already know, I've been doing keto for it's gonna be 4 years in October, right? So certainly I'm not new to this. I've been doing it for some time. I've also been doing intermittent fasting for 7 years now. Wow, time flies, right? But this is pretty much what I've kind of developed and what I kind of experienced throughout the years, right? So you can take some things with a grain of salt and the others, if it works for you, great. But basically, right, I'm not gonna be so black and white with it like I used to be, since certainly there's some gray areas when it comes to keto. And right, now that I got that out of the way here, let's jump into number 5. So my number 5 tip for doing keto in 2019 is keeping track of your carbs. And I know this sounds really simple, but I've heard it so many times where people don't even keep track of it. I'm not sure how that's even possible, but you gotta be able to keep track of your carbs, right? Your net carbs, whatever carbs after fiber is left is what you have to keep track of. And it doesn't matter if you're using your phone or you're writing it down in a journal. I don't care if you have to grab a pen and write it on your hand if you have to, right? Because it's just gonna make things way easier, especially in the beginning, to know if you're even right under the whole keto window, right? Because, for example, if you're using 20 grams of net carbs as your benchmark for the day, let's say you wake up, have some black coffee, right? So, by the way, of course, I've got my black coffee, no sugar, no nothing in here. You have your black coffee, right? And this is just made from a typical coffee machine, like a Mr. Coffee maker. Maybe you don't have to count that as carbs because there's no carbs in there. But if you're counting like calories, for example, that's like 5 you have to count for. But anyways, come lunchtime, right, you have your actual first meal or something like that, and it's 10 grams net carbs. That's fine, right? You write that down. Now you have in the back of your head, I already have my 10 carbs, so I can only have 10 more. Hopefully between lunch and dinner, right, you don't have a snack. But if you have a snack, right, especially if you have some sort of keto snack like some almonds, walnuts, or peanuts, gotta account for that too, right? Because let's say that comes out to be about 5 carbs net. You write that down, right? So now actually you're at closer to 15 net grams of carbs. So for dinner, you gotta be real careful what you have, right? Maybe 5 grams. You got 5 grams left in the tank, so to speak. So maybe some salad, right? That comes out to be a net 5. And then there you have it, right? You have your 20, and you didn't have to really think about it too much because, right, you have it all written down somewhere, phone, journal, on your hand, and that's that. That's my tip number 5. Tip number 4, right? It's okay to have a keto cheat meal. And I know you're probably thinking, what does that even mean, right? I certainly don't mean have a cheat meal, right? Don't go out there and get a Papa John's pizza or have a bowl of noodles. And no, nothing like that. But let's say once a week, right? Let's say on a Sunday afternoon, you just really want a bunch of bacon strips with some butter and cheese. I don't know, right? Something crazy like that, right? I think you can have that, right? Go ahead and have that. Go and have those bacon strips, pork bellies, butters, cheeses, kind of in one meal. I know it sounds really gross, but I'm just using the extreme examples. Have that, right? And it'll basically satiate you, right? It'll kind of curb the idea of let's say if you're doing keto but you're only eating like salads all the times or salad all the time with avocados or something, and you're getting bored of it, right? So yeah, you can spice it up by having a keto cheat meal by getting a bunch of bacon or maybe a bunch of pork rinds and what have you, all the quote-unquote unhealthy keto stuff. I think that's totally fine, but if you limit that, just limit it. Maybe limit it to once a week. But that's my tip number 4. Tip number 3, right? When in doubt, veggie up. Okay, and what I mean by veggie up, whenever you're in doubt of whatever meal, food, snack that you are thinking about, veggie up. Have vegetables instead. You know, if you're gonna have a meal and you can't think about lunch, you know, you can't think basically what you want for lunch. Salad. If you're lucky enough to have a salad bar, right? Like at work or something like that. Salad up. Get a bunch of those leafy green vegetables. I'm talking like a mountain of leafy. Maybe not that much, but you know, like a big old bowl of leafy green veggies. Because let's face it, I'm pretty sure the majority of people aren't getting enough vegetables. So especially the leafy greens, right? So a bunch of leafy greens, of course, right? You can still do the keto dressings, ranch, vinaigrette, oil, olive oil, whatever. So not vinaigrette, excuse me, but you know, like a red wine vinegar, a little bit of balsamic. I think a little bit of balsamic vinegar is okay. But right, when in doubt, veggie up. When you're about to have a snack, right? Especially with snacks, I think that you know, you may be tempted to have, assuming you're going to be doing the keto pretty gung-ho, right? Let's say like you're going to have a bowl of almonds, not a bowl, I'm sorry, but like a handful of almonds, right? But you forgot your almonds, or you forgot your nuts, you forgot your keto snack. But instead, maybe if you have access to vegetables, I know that's kind of weird, but like celery sticks, maybe like at your local grocery store or maybe a little convenience store, they'll have like those little packets with veggies in it. Get that instead, right? Get a bunch of veggies, celery sticks, carrots, ranch, doesn't matter. That's much better than whatever, probably whatever alternative you might get, right? And even amongst the keto snacks, like I mentioned, walnuts, peanuts, pecans, or like beef jerkies and stuff that you may find at a convenience store as well. I would still say that vegetables are a better alternative. But right, when in doubt, veggie up. So veggie up. That's tip number 3. Tip number 2, right? This one's kind of a big one. If you can, include intermittent fasting. Okay? Right, so I'm not sure if you guys are all familiar with intermittent fasting, but basically it's not really even a diet. It's just it's a way in which you're pushing your meals further into the day so that you have a window of time in which you can eat, and then after that you don't, right? That's the simplest way I can probably explain it. But basically, if you can include intermittent fasting with keto, okay, it's going to be more effective. And this is coming from somebody, again, who's been doing keto for, again, it'll be 4 years in October, and intermittent fasting for 7. I've been doing, wow, it's just crazy coming out of my mouth there. 7 years of intermittent fasting. And I actually did intermittent fasting before I did keto, right? Obviously, if you caught the year difference, but it's because I kind of plateaued with intermittent fasting, right? So I did the standard 16-8 window for intermittent fasting, meaning that I had an 8-hour window in which I could eat whatever I wanted to, and then a 16-hour fast where, you know, I wouldn't eat anything. I would still drink, right? I still have my black coffee and stuff like that, water, but right, no food. And you can get pretty crazy with it. I got pretty crazy with it. I got to the point where I was doing 20-hour fasts, 4-hour eating windows. I would even just fast. There's some days where I would actually just do a 24-hour fast, and that's it, right? I didn't eat the whole day. I didn't eat almost the whole day the next day, rather. But anyways, not to get too much into that, but when I incorporated keto with intermittent fasting, right? So let's take the 8-hour window example again, and within the 8-hour window, I would eat, you know, probably just my lunch and dinner and some snacks, but had kept it all keto, I started to see results. You know, I started to see results, not overnight, but faster, because I think that it's just more efficient. Your body becomes way more efficient with the type of food that you start to give it, right? Because, you know, especially in the beginning stages of keto, the whole point is you're trying to get keto adapted, right? Or fat adapted. You're trying to get your body to use ketones, right? Not carbs as a fuel source. So if you're fasting to begin with, your body's going to be starving, right? Your body's already hungry and starving to start with. Secondly, the moment you ingest, let's say, a keto-friendly dish or snack, right? It's gonna start to realize that, you know, real fast that, hey, this guy, right, or this girl they're not messing around. They're serious about this. Or they're not eating I'm not getting carbs in my body. We're getting just fats and proteins in. So it'll probably kickstart that process a little faster. Not to mention, right, once you're keto adapted, fat adapted, the fat burning process just becomes more efficient. But yes, that's my tip number 2, right? Intermittent fasting, if you can include it. And tip number 1. This one's a big one. That's why I saved it for number 1. Don't give up. I don't know if that's what you guys were expecting, but just don't give up, okay? And I know it sounds cliche, or it sounds like, every other diet says stuff like that, but really, it's so easy to want to give up because you feel like it's not working, or because you don't see the results overnight, right? Because again, it's a journey, it's a process. You won't see results overnight. Over time you will, okay? But I certainly also don't want to be so black and white about what I mean with this, because I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I'm certainly not so black and white with things like I used to be. Because when I was first doing everything like intermittent fasting and keto, I was very black and white. I was like, no, there's no wiggle room. Nope, 20 grams net carbs. Oh, you had 21. You're done. You got kicked out of ketosis. Like, I was very much like that. But no, it's definitely not like that. And as you guys can see, right, especially in 2019, as keto has become more popular, as more and more people have been doing it, it has more and more different effects on different people, right? Everyone's just a little bit different. That's the way it is. Not everybody is not just the same. That's just never going to be that way. So that being said, right, don't give up. See how it actually affects you, right? Like, see how keto is affecting you. If you include intermittent fasting, see how that's affecting you. Let's say you incorporate intermittent fasting and it's just not working out. Like, you give it a solid week, and it's just not working out. Okay, at that point, maybe you can either retool it or put it on the back burner, right? Put it aside, get back to keto, keep doing that, and then maybe at a later date, go ahead and try intermittent fasting again. But basically, don't give up, right? Don't give up. Don't give up trying to see if it can work for you. If it doesn't work for you, you can try to tweak it to maybe have it work a little bit more, I guess, better for you. So in the example for keto, right? Let's say you're doing keto for the first time. You're about a week or 2 in, but then all of a sudden you get the keto flu, and oh boy, can I relate. I got the keto flu when I first did keto many years ago. It was bad. It was rough. It was almost worse than the real flu, really, for me. I remember just thinking about it, it's so painful. But obviously there's a right way and a wrong way, and I think I did it the wrong way. But if you, in 2019, are getting the keto flu, there's a wealth of knowledge now and a wealth of resources online that you can sift through, or YouTube videos you can sift through to really be like, okay, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Like, maybe instead of, I don't know, eating sticks of butter, which is extreme, is not working out, maybe I should tone down the fats. Okay, I know that sounds crazy, but maybe tone down the fats, the bad fats, right? Like butters and beef jerkies and the trans fats, all that stuff, and up the good fats and the veggies, right? So not only upping the good fats, but upping the veggies a lot. So like, if you think having a salad is a lot, right, for lunch, double, triple that, right? Like, triple the amount of normal veggies and leafy greens that you would have in a sitting, and see how that works, right? That's the beauty of it, is that you can kind of mess around with it, see how you feel. I remember the first time around, I didn't even know about that, but when I did incorporate a lot of veggies, like salads, leafy greens, that kind of stuff, I actually did get a little bit of discomfort. I was already getting all kinds of discomfort, though, to be honest. I was getting all kinds of, in terms of like digestive discomfort and bowel movements. Sorry if that's TMI, but it's just everyone's a little different, right? And so if your body can accept it, and it can accept all those leafy green veggies with the good fats, right? Like, if you get a big old bowl of leafy green vegetables with tons of olive oil, walnuts, pecans, maybe a little bit of cheese, and your favorite protein, a little bit of chicken maybe, and that works, do that. That's as keto right there is a really good keto meal, and it's something that you can kind of test. And if it works, great, because now it's not only healthy, but it's keto. And right, you're less likely to give up, right? Because the whole point again is that you're less likely to give up. You're less likely to, do things wrong. And if you do, you can go back and try to tweak it and torque it. I'm so sorry, did I say torque? I mean tweak it and change it. But yeah, guys, those are my 5 tips, right? Just to really quickly recap. Number 5, keep count of your carbs. Just some way, I don't care if you're writing down in your hand, just keep count. Number 4, It's okay once in a while to have a keto cheat meal. Go have those bacon strips, right? Have that fatty ground beef patty with a lettuce burger, right? Lettuce wrap burger. Go ahead and have that. Limited, but it's okay to do that once in a while. Number 3, when in doubt, veggie up, right? Just vegetable up. I don't care. Leafy green veggies, celery sticks, carrot, even carrot sticks. I know that's got a little more carbs in it, but whatever. Veggie up. Okay, not gonna go wrong with vegetables. Number 2, intermittent fasting, right? If you can include it, go ahead. If you can't, maybe at a later date, at a later time, try it. And then of course, number 1, don't give up, right? Hang in there. You're doing what I believe is the right thing and trying something new, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, change it around, right? Things aren't so black and white. Do your research, watch YouTube vids, go to Google, search it up. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, right, go ahead and give it one of these. Also go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you like this type of content. The other videos I've done will be over here as well if you want to check those out. But yeah guys, I really hope this video was helpful. I really hope you try it out, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.